Hi YouTube, this is Darkon633, and today we're taking a look at the third of the Transformers Generations Titan Returns Deluxe Class Wave 2 figures, and that is Highbrow with Zord. Same thing with some of the other renames. His original Headmaster name was named Gord, so it's kind of weird that at least they were able to somewhat be able to represent the name, and it's nowhere near as weird as what happened with Wolfwire. But anyways, we're going to take a look at the box as normal. The box shows a picture of his helicopter mode, along with his head there. Shows that he transforms in 11 steps, and it's actually a heavy retool of the Scourge mold from what I could tell. But there's actually one thing that this mold did correctly, unlike the Scourge mold, which we'll see in a minute. His main accessories includes the head as normal, these two guns, which are pretty much the same in design outside of the way that they're positioned, and this one has the blue pegs, well this one doesn't, and the character card as normal. Seeing his stats, once again it's pretty even, so that's really cool. Now we'll go on to the articulation points. Articulation, same thing with the head, and this is where it's a huge plus compared to the Scourge mold, is that the head actually stays in really nicely, unlike what we've seen with the Scourge mold. Articulation-wise, it's pretty much the same once again with the Headmasters, so at least they have pretty even articulation, at least in one area. He has really tight joints at the elbows on a ball joint, but as you could see there, be careful as these pieces can bump into it when you move it, so as long as you're careful, you will not snap the wing. He does have swivels at the biceps. Really nice elbow joints. Hands can pivot once again due to transformation. That's it for the upper part. He has no waist articulation, unfortunately. He's the only one, for I could tell so far, that doesn't have a waist joint. I think there was one other, I think that's actually Scourge, come to think of it. He has ratchets at the hips, which have good movement. Swivels at the thighs. A little more than 90 degrees, actually way more than 90 degrees for knees due to transformation. And only the back heel pieces pivot, nothing else in the front, so that's all you're going to get. So that's it for articulation. Also, similar to what we've seen with the other Transformers, you can take off the head, and if I remember correctly, you can peg these together. Like so. And once again, it does have that weird, you have to put it sideways kind of deal. I haven't really found a way to peg this in otherwise. And you can put in a Titan Master, but it's unlike the other ones, because basically what you need to do this time, you actually need to peg them into a hole inside there, and they kind of just sit like this. So it's a little bit different, unlike some of the others we've seen. So we're just going to move Zord to the side here. Let's take away the guns and go on to transformation. Now, even though it is a heavy retool of Scourge, there's a lot of points which makes it a completely different toy, and I think Hasbro did a fantastic job changing how the transformation works and just the overall designs compared to what we did in Combiner Wars. Basically, first you need to plug this and it'll become the front of the helicopter mode. You're going to collapse the hands, and that's almost about it for the arms. You're not going to do a whole lot there. Next, you need to do that weird joint where you pull the leg there, swivel it, collapse the heels into the cavity there, turn these around, and you're going to peg them in after you collapse them inward like so, and they will snap together. Actually, turns out it looks like you do not need to swivel it. My bad. I get confused at times. So you do need to peg them together. It does have a little bit of a sweet spot problem, but it's not the worst. So at least it's a little easy to peg together. So, second. It's not seem to be working for me today. There we go. So it snaps together like so. Then you're just going to collapse this here by pegging it into the little area on the side here. So we're just going to peg this in. And then the back end here will peg into the empty cavity right here in this slot. So plug it in. So there we go. So now we got Highbrow in his helicopter mode. So here we have a closer look at his helicopter mode. You can open up the canopy here and place in Zort inside. He just sits like normal. There's enough space so that he can fit in normally. So you don't need to do anything fancy in order to plug it in. Just put him in and he'll sit inside. And then you close the canopy. What's cool is that it does have a little bit of a clear window so you can see him from the inside there. The helicopter blades rotate normally, though the G1 toy actually had 3 propellers versus the 2. And I think it's okay because it seems like when I heard from the Japanese mold for Vortex, oh sorry, Blast Off. No, yeah, Vortex, yeah. It looks kind of weird, especially in the way that it works, and it gets in the way in articulation and so on. So it's okay that it doesn't have that. For the gun, you can plug this in underneath. Basically, we're going to unpeg the guns. Okay, and then we're going to plug them into... Actually, there are 2 areas you can plug them into, here or here, but the instructions, and it just looks a little better when you plug them there. So there you have it, more armed up. He does actually have landing gear, which can be formed by pulling this piece here, and a secondary piece which I'm not too sure what this is for. It might be something to just kind of keep it afloat. See how it looks like without the landing gear. So it doesn't really work that well. Before I could tell, it's some way to kind of keep it just a little bit above ground. And I think that's its main purpose, but it does what it needs to, I guess. He has no wheels at the bottom, so you just slide it across the table. There isn't really any way to roll this out, and that's pretty much it. You're not going to get a whole lot more out of this vehicle mode, outside the fact that it does look really nice. So in my opinion, Highbrow is actually the strongest of the wave, since I really like the character from the original G1 cartoon, and I actually think, in my opinion, he's actually my most favorite design out of the G1 Headmasters from the Autobots, next to Chromedome. So I think they did a fantastic job with the update for the character. Just as a comparison, here he is next to the other main Autobot Headmasters from the cartoon, and we're so close to finishing off the main cast, with unfortunately Brainstorm being a Walgreens exclusive in the US, and it's still unknown exactly how it's getting released, outside of the potential rumors for sometime in October for its release. So I am really close to getting the entire main cast of the G1 Headmasters cartoon, at least Headmasters-wise, and I can't recommend Highbrow and the rest of this wave enough. Anyways, please comment, subscribe, and check out Hero Club. Also, please check out Twitter under Darkon633, and please check down the other channels down below. I'm back with the final Deluxe for Titan Returns in Wave 2, but for now, I'll be seeing you YouTube. Bye.